Hey there! So here we are in part 2, the colorful bits. Last episode was a really long one about the sculpting, so here's the TLDW in picture form. The most satisfying bit was making the scale texture and rolling it on, and I pretty much held my breath the whole way through the straps and rings. You can watch the whole thing here if you'd like. Let's start with priming. I'm just priming with Blick Titanium White. Honestly, I probably didn't need to do this since I have so many layers of colors, but I didn't know that at the time. Paints will appear on screen as I use them if you're curious. I'm not worrying about a lot of coverage since I want a ton of texture on this anyway. Now I'm going in with my first color, just a creamy white to base all the bone bits. It's a little yellow for the thorns, so I'm adding nutmeg and getting that on the thorns. First wash of the day, it's just nutmeg and water. It's catching some of the texture, but it feels really light, so more wash, this time in burnt umber. Much better. I like the dark of the burnt umber and the reddishness of the nutmeg, so let's get a mixed wash all over the bone. Sometimes I dab with paper towels and sometimes with my finger if I just want to move the paint around and not absorb it. Let's hit that middle gem. Let's use all these colors. Oh, and I also did some titanium white highlights where I think the light might hit it, just to add some extra dimension. Ah, that first bit of blue is so pretty. This gem was probably one of my favorite parts to paint. I did a lot of layers trying to get it right, but the way the brush drags on this part of the clay was really soothing. Now for some more priming. I'm painting all the areas that will be metal with black. It helps make the metallic paints look more metallic. After a close look, I saw that there's a bit of the scales that's orangey, so let's get vermilion on there. Now for the yellowy green bits. So, like I was talking about on my sculpting video, this weapon is from the Puke hunting horn tree. For those who don't play, the Puke is a super cute flying monster that's got lovely green and blue scales and feathers and cute orange cheek circles and a really big pinky purple tongue. It's just a glorious mess of colors, and it spits poison. The colors are a little bright right now, but washes and more layers will help. More colors. Now that we've got the washes and darker colors on the scales, things are looking good. Let's move down to the feathers. Spoiler alert, this is going to be very impressionistic. It was weird. I felt like these were way too pastel, but looking at the references, they are a whole lot more pastel. Or maybe just less saturated? Time for the metal! I think I'm going to have to invest in some smaller brushes. This is the smallest I have, and it's still feeling like it's a bit big. Still, not a bad brush. On to the leather. We're almost there, everyone! Again, lots of different washes and dabbing. I just keep adding little bits of color to make each brown slightly different. I started out with more of the reddish browns and went cooler and cooler as the layering went on. Now let's see if I can get the straps without hitting the finished areas. I needed to make sure I got some good texture on the leather, so I went to the kitchen and stole a sponge. It's perfect for chunky weathering. A little more metal. This was the fun two-toned metal, so I'm using silver and brushed dark gray to finish it off. Yep, totally freehanding those straight lines. Now let's finish out the leather handle wrap. I'm making this a different base color than the other leather because it seemed like it was a little cooler of a color. I'm adding some of the leftover washes from the other leather on top to make it look like there's discoloration from hand grease. Monster Hunters really should wash their hands more. we're finally done! This was such a fun project, and I can't wait to make the next weapon. I've already picked it out, so if you have a guess, leave it in the comments below. Hint, it is a horn. Thanks so much for watching! I really appreciate sharing my art with you, and I'll see you in the next one.